Welcome back to the DarkBrue Podcast. You made it. I am, of course, TheBrueCru.
Hey, I'm Darkseid.
And we have another fun episode for your wonderful ears to listen and your beautiful eyes to watch. Check it out.
Oh, so pretty.
DarkBrue, DarkBrue Crew, the podcast.
What up, Brooby Doo? How
Hey, buddy.
are you, my friend?
I know this is nothing new, but busy as ever. There's so much to accomplish in this life. I mean, ESO is banging. We got new games we're trying. We're hearing news about across the interwebs. And not to mention personal lives, holidays, families, and all the other fun IRL stuff we deal with. Oh.
Absolutely. Busy year so far. The world's gotten back after, horrible things that are still going on. But, the industry's kicking right now. In all forms of media and...
Except E3. Except trade shows.
Yeah. That's a little weird right now, that area.
That's a bummer. That was a bummer, hearing about E3. For listeners who don't know, the conference was canceled this year.
Again.
Just all together, gone. 2022, no E3. So what I think will happen was we'll get a lot of maybe publishers, developers will just have mini, here's a release of 30 minutes of here's what's up and coming for Xbox, for PlayStation,
right?
for Nintendo,
On their own template, right? Mm-hmm. Do you think they'll all kind of keep it in that summertime still? Keep it relatable? Do you see that?
I think so, only because it starts building the hype for the holidays then.
Yeah, the third and fourth quarter.
In the business mind of me, they're like, yeah, it's the best time to present stuff because we get to talk about, all right, we got some stuff coming out right now, which is great. Summer's a great time to release games as well. And then, okay, here's what's coming. Here are the big ones coming this winter. But yeah, I mean, everyone has their own platform already. Xbox has what? Inside Xbox, they call it? There's, Nintendo Direct. There's, PlayStation Now, I think.
Sure. Sure. You are the PlayStation insider, man, so I will
yikes.
refer to your information.
Someone who's never owned a PlayStation.
They're trying to make some moves, with Xbox just knocking out of the park with all their acquisitions last year. PlayStation, it looked like they were kind of trying to play catch up and still are in that aspect. But don't count Sony out. I mean, did you see the acquisition this week that Sony had?
No, what was the big one this week?
Why don't you check that out? It involves $1 billion going towards the PlayStation Metaverse.
Billion with a B.
$1 billion, bro. So, PlayStation. Okay, so you know how Fortnite has the Metaverse, right? They have all these deals with all these intellectual properties, and it's huge. And I think PlayStation is thinking about kind of doing that with that $1 billion, I guess, towards just. I don't really know specifically what they plan to do. I mean, it's that's a lot of money and a lot of different people involved. But they are obviously serious about wanting to make a big splash and stay
$1 billion.
Did you bring it up?
I'm looking at just the headlines of Google News, and
isn't that wild? There's a lot of money, folks. The gaming industry. Anybody who thinks gaming, well, it's just gaming. No. That's yesteryear. Gaming is bigger than Hollywood now. That's right. Gaming is bigger than Hollywood because we can all enjoy gaming.
Oh my God!
Way.
Absolutely.
God.
Epic. Do you think Epic Games is really worth $1 billion?
No, not alone. I don't know. I mean. We'll see, huh? We'll see how this all plays out.
Well, that's big. PlayStation making leaps and bounds back on Xbox.
Yeah, and Sony does a couple of things different, and they want to bring. We look at Xbox as there's no VR setup for that, and I see that really becoming it's not going anywhere. VR is not going away. It's only going to improve and get better and more accessible to more people as we go forward and get more titles and more things funneled that way. And PlayStation, I think, is with that and one of these acquisitions, they got to find their own place because Xbox surely has marked the headlines, and then Microsoft this last year. With all the busy stuff, and Game Pass has just been an overwhelming success. Did you see the ad thing I sent you? We're gonna drop a little gamer news on you. Microsoft considering running ads in some of their Game Pass free-to-play games. Now, they don't want Microsoft apparently not taking a cut from that either. Which
I find that hard to believe.
Right.
In some way, shape, or form, they're not taking a cut of any of that ad revenue? No.
Well, what it might do is prompt more indie developers to put their games on Game Pass, which helps Microsoft and, their arsenal, their library. I mean, I'd love to look at some of the numbers that are coming in. I don't even know how that works out. I don't know exactly how the deal works out between Microsoft and these, and the titles that they put on Game Pass and the deals they broker. And I'm sure it has to do with how successful certain games are, and if they own some of the studios involved too. So, but it's very fascinating stuff. I mean, this is all. They were in the age of the consumer and the gamer, and you should be excited if you're out there because they're doing all this stuff to make better and better, awesome stuff for us to play.
At the same time, though, I'm worried. Okay, so it's ad-free viewing for free-to-play games.
And they also said they are concerned that the average player would, like us, would get annoyed by that.
Yeah, because we're already bombarded with advertisements within the game for microtransactions. Because we're constantly fighting against. So, like, I'm thinking of Fortnite, for example, or a game I play called Smite, that is free-to-play games.
Mm-hmm.
They're always pushing you to buy their currency. There's a holiday sale. There's some event going on.
Right.
Like, new skin. Like, we're so bombarded with all of that ads. And then to say, oh, and here's an ad for Amazon Alexa. And it's like, well, what the fuck, guys? Like, I'm just trying to play a game.
Well, look at EA, all right? EA NBA Live, the one that came out, I think, last year, had if you bought the game for $60, there was still an unskippable 30-second commercial that would pop up.
Oh, see, that's unacceptable.
They pulled it. Like, they understood real quick. They should have understood before they made the game and put it out like that. That was an awful fucking decision. Pardon my language, but come on, EA. You are always... You are the most money-grubbing little company that's had to be reprimanded by its own customers so much. Yeah, I mean, like, as far as they handled...
What they did to the poor Star Wars games, man, they didn't deserve that.
Well, don't get me started on all that. I mean, but and EA is a great company as far as, a lot of the products they put out I enjoy, but at the same time, don't show some consideration for the reason you have all that money.
It's almost like the EA developers make the game, and then some bigwig says to them, all right, it's a good game. How do we get just a little more money out of it, though?
Right. And then now they have to have a person in that boardroom going, hey, dipshit.
Hey, remember when the world stopped buying our shit for a while and our stock plummeted? Maybe we shouldn't do this.
They just hold up a poster of them getting sued or whatever over the loot crate fiasco.
Oh my gosh!
Fun times though. It'll be good to see the shakeout. And along those lines, CD Projekt Red, if y'all don't know who that is, the Polish game developer behind Witcher was their biggest one. They're basically claim to fame, and most recently Cyberpunk. And they've done a few other games too. They're pretty good. But they are actually teaming up now. What is it? With Molasses Flood. All right, this is a studio that is it Microsoft? Or that CD Projekt Red? I think CD Projekt Red acquired last fall or winter, and they are going to team up to do the next Witcher project, which is interesting because also for a few reasons. It'll be interesting to see how it plays off the TV show. Yes, you can thank CD Projekt Red people for you being able to see Henry Cavill in those tight little fantasy pants. Okay. And so this whole franchise is getting big, but they got a lot of people on it, and they're using the new Unreal 5 engine, which you're going to see a ton of in a lot of different games coming up, and it can do some impressive things, folks. It looks beautiful. So that might be a little ways off, but I thought you should know. And if you're watching the video, there's a little picture of they teased us with the end of March with the little Witcher wolf logo or the little emblem and some snow. Anyway, if you're a Witcher fan, it's a great franchise, and that'll be coming soon. We got
some games are already running on Unreal Engine 5. Like Fortnite runs real smooth on it, and they've been doing a lot more with it.
I hear a lot of people are enjoying the no build Fortnite.
Dude. I was just playing some with my nephew earlier today.
Yeah. Does the new world they have in there look cool, or is it a different world?
You know, that's okay.
What happened to the Moisty Swamp or whatever? What happened to that's just gone now? It's just totally that whole first world?
Like, I've stopped getting attached to certain areas of maps because of Fortnite.
Because it breaks your heart?
Because Fortnite just breaks you, right? Like, for example, Tilted Towers is my spot. It's back currently right now.
Okay.
But it was, they took it away, modified it, changed it, took it away. It's just like, it's because the map changes so frequently.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it's easiest just to like constantly find new spots, and so I don't get too attached to like, oh, I missed the old map. It's just like, no, like this is just the map we're playing with right now. It's a perspective shift I've had to make because like think about COD. Oh, I loved playing Shipment and like some of these maps that Skid Row and COD Mod 2. Like some of these maps that I'm just so familiar with, and like they ain't ever gonna change. They're always that way, baby. And so I can find my nooks and crannies and find, you know, my juicies.
I did think it was cool in certain games. Battlefield, for instance, Battlefield 3 had certain maps, right? And then in Battlefield 4, they brought back a few of those maps, revamped them, made them look even cooler. And, you know, that was neat. That was very enjoyable.
As long as they're done well.
Well, yeah.
When you revamp it and change it too much, and then you're like, well, this is a completely different. It's not the same.
And speaking of Battlefield, this is some real tragic news. So this last week, so Battlefield 2042, you know, and as a Battlefield fan myself, I was looking forward to it. I played the pre-release, the beta, I think, and was very underwhelmed. That came out in November. Player base of an average, I think, daily it got up to 100,000 a day. In the beginning, which is great numbers for online play. Folks, it's down. Numbers dropped dramatically in a month because players, I think, were just... there's so much other good, great stuff also, first of all. We don't have just Call of Duty, Battlefield, and like...
Competition's high right now.
Yeah, oh my God. I mean, it's... Yeah, and the people have spoken. It's down to under 1,000 a day. Under 1,000 a day. It's only, what? That's 5 months out? From when it released, almost 6, like that's deplorable. That's really sad.
Deplorable. That's a good word to describe it. Deplorable.
It's sad though, you know, being a fan of the franchise, but that product and the other choices we have, you know, and that's great for the consumers though, you know. So
the consumer market, absolutely.
That's a bad thing.
Developers are trying so hard, but that is a tough look for the franchise, and that's
Yeah, it's a AAA huge franchise title, and been putting out solid titles. It's kind of been tapering off with the true Battlefield. That seems to be the general perception. People that are true diehard Battlefield fans, and I can speak of that. It's not the glory days were like 3, 4, and then people haven't been as happy with what's come out recently. So anyway, I thought I'd throw that out there. And along with that, Ghost of Tsushima, I can talk. Ghost of Tsushima will stop. They're going to stop putting out content. They're stop supporting that. They just released, I think, yesterday. Today. So, unfortunately, just like Breakpoint, Ghost Recon Breakpoint just announced they're not going to no longer support any more DLC, which was disheartening a little bit. A little disappointing, but maybe it just means they're on to making the next one.
On to bigger and better things, though. You got to hope that's what's next. You got to always hope.
Right.
Games, they die eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Very few get to make it everlasting. So, like, you got to just roll with it.
I have picked up the Elden Ring. I thought I was going to be able to wait a little bit. Yeah, I did.
Can I get some first impressions from Darkseid here? Have we truly given it enough time?
Oh yeah, I mean it's impeccable. It's game of the year, bar none.
Really?
Hands down, bar none.
That positive. There's nothing.
It's so enjoyable. You know what I mean? It's everything kind of from the Souls games, but made better. And you have choices now. You're not stuck beating your head and dying and feeling awful. You can go off and do anything. You can go off and do it and
go off Weast and find
what a
something else
beautiful
to do.
game too. It's just so beautiful. It's beautiful. It's just done so well. The story, who cares? Not one person, I don't think, cares about the lore and the story and all that shit, because it does not matter in the slightest. I mean, there's little things here and there where you're like, okay, well, there's a purpose.
Well, I want to be an Elden Lord, and I think that's about the only thing people really take away from the game. Is becoming an Elden Lord, and that's it.
It's just so beautiful, man. Casting your magic. I'll just sit there and look at the incantation I've cast because it's so pretty. And it's just, if you love fantasy and you love an open world playground, and you like improving and it's great. I have to say, cannot deny. But I will be looking forward to anything that they choose to release with that, any extra content they want to put out, which there's going to be, they said, with a new game plus. That's the only way you'll be able to get certain weapons. Blah, 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 which, for diehard Elden Ring fans, which there's a ton of them, I'm sure you're out there, you're listening to this. I know. Just cool. Good time.
You know what I have but haven't played yet?
What's that?
I did buy Tinitina's Wonderland. I saw enough of it, and I was like, yeah, dude, I'm pulling the trigger.
Yeah.
Like, I'll buy the game. And I haven't had the opportunity to play any yet, but it's in the inventory. It's in the DLCs.
You got that? That's on Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
I might get that, dude. I might get that and play that with you, because that's one you definitely want to play with your friends. And that looks fun, man. Like,
it looks like a blast.
Borderlands is a great time. It is what it is, but it's more. But it's I love looter shooters. Upgrading and changing and shooting. Right? And that's in fantasy world.
I had to make the decision though, because you know what other game I've been hearing great things about?
Oh, what? Tell me.
Is the Lego Star Wars.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah, I watched the playthrough.
So many downloads, and it looked good. And I was like, oh, geez, like, I really only have enough time for one game. I could buy both, but, like, I only have time for one, so why buy both right now? And I went with Tinitina's, but, man, I was close. It looked good. I'm hoping I can go back, and I haven't looked in Game Pass yet, but I want to, and see if there's any of, like, the older Lego games in there, just so I can get a feel for how they play. And then maybe in the holiday season, we'll see.
I've been watching a playthrough actually this week of one of the streamers, Bruce Green from Funhouse. He does his own thing, but he's a huge Star Wars fan, and he went from episode 1 all the way through 9, right? And just each stream was like a different movie. And it's have you ever played any of them?
Can't say I have. No.
Okay, they have a very unique humor about them, you know, and sometimes it looks a little kiddie, you know. There's little puzzles, but they're not hard, and it's for all ages, right? But they do some funny stuff, and it looks beautiful, and just the stuff you get to do. You get to play through all the movies. So if you love Star Wars, you know, maybe worth a pickup right there.
Huh. You know what I did get asked the other day? What my biggest childhood like series was? Like what was a big series? Because I forget how we got on the topic, but the Chronicles of Riddick had come up in guild chat, and some people were taken away that I knew what the Chronicles of Riddick were. They're like, you know this nothing series, and yet you haven't seen some of the most basic movies in the world. And it's like, yeah, dude, like I don't know. It was this movies my parents got for us. Like I didn't make these. So decisions.
Pitch Black. You watched Pitch Black?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, those were good, and you know I didn't really watch them when they came out, because anything Vin Diesel was in back then, I was like, I don't care. I don't.
You didn't.
I watched the first Fast and Furious. No, because it wasn't that I didn't like him. I just was like Triple X. I think came out and like all the
Triple X. Yeah, I've seen those too.
And I'm like, what is this B star in these action movies? Anyway, but yeah, like the Riddick is cool. Like that world is, and that came from a comic book, I believe, too. And there was a cool video game. Did you play the video game?
No, I did not. I have not played the video game, and I generally tried to stay away from those kinds of games that I saw on TV or I saw a movie, and now it's a game, and it's like.
Well, we all know video games usually are the worst. There's very few movie to video game. Now, there's been some great movies that came from video game, where the video game came first, and then there was a cool movie, but very rarely. And I put in the comments below, or wherever you can comment, or just send us PMs. If you know of a good movie to video game or TV to video game translation, don't say Harry Potter. Those games suck. All right.
There's supposed to be a Harry Potter MMO coming out.
Yeah, now that might be pretty badass.
Which
for you Potterheads out there.
Which could be very interesting, honestly.
Oh, absolutely. I know you're a Potterhead, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So I didn't have a TV in my room growing up. I only had like a radio and a CD player. So I had the audiobooks to Harry Potter, and that's how I would fall asleep every night. Is just listen through the series, and then you start over and listen through, and start over and listen through. So I used to be bomb at Harry Potter trivia. I've lost a bit of it since I've grown up now, but there's still a good bit I remember.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure that the nerddom is strong with you, my friend. With the Potter universe, the PCU. Which they're expanding on that. I mean, they're going to keep going, aren't they? They're just people love it. Whatever, in whatever shape, form, Grindelwald or whatever you want to do with it.
Grindelwald.
Do it 1,000 years in the future, and people would be like, yeah, sure. We got cyber wands. Yeah. I wasn't a huge Harry Potter, I was an adult when it, came out, and I use that as an excuse a lot of times, but a lot of times it does depend on how old you are
when it hits in life.
Right.
I was hitting that 10, 11, 12.
That's a magical time for that.
And I think my parents used to read me the books, which is dope.
Yeah. And for me, when I was a middle schooler getting into books, it was the Star Wars, which is now Legends, whatever, all those books, and the C.S. Lewis books, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, before they made all those weird movies. Right before that, And man, that was a magical time as a kid to be reading and just your mind.
Was that series together, the C.S. Lewis? Was there an overarching story? Because from what I recall, they were like.
It was the same world. It was 7 books, and Narnia was a place in our real world, right?
Okay.
But in Narnia, thousands and thousands of years pass over the course of what's just like 20 years in the real world. So and there were different stories at different times, so it was connected, and I can't remember all of it now, but it wasn't the same story going through. It was like it was just like
it was just set in the same universe.
Right, and it did connect because it was, it was like C.S. Lewis had a lot of Christian tones in that, but he wanted to have the world connect. And I think, the kids, Lucy and I don't forget all their names, the English kids, World War II time when it started, they had grown up, and by the end of it,
Lucy,
Aslan. There was a movie, yeah. That movie. Did you see that movie with the
Yeah, I did watch that in my private school. Yes.
Yeah, overly British.
And we did discuss the Christian overtones in the movie.
Yeah. C.S. Lewis, for those of you who don't know, man, what an author. Like, I've read some of his other books that are nonfiction, and he was way too smart. Like, I pride myself on my knowledge of the English language, and I can't. However old I was, I was going, what did he just say? I was having to reread like every paragraph just because he's so complex in the way he constructs things. Anyway. Any other news? I mean, we've thrown out some of that stuff. I mean, there's all kinds of news popping off here and there, folks, because game is just everywhere. Oh, well.
No, nothing that comes to mind right now.
Just the Skyrim thing. So, some...
that's...
They took the Draugr model, okay? These people that are interested in recreating, like, facial reconstructions through CG work, they took a Draugr skull from Skyrim, the generic Draugr face, and tried to reconstruct it, what the actual person whose skull that would look like. And I'll have Brew throw it up on the YouTube clip, little picture. But I thought that was really interesting, and just blows my mind how we can do these kinds of things.
These smart guys right? Who are like, I do this professionally, but fuck it. I also play these games. Why don't I try and do it from the game?
Right, and then they asked the one of the Skyrim creators of what they thought of it, and they were like, "That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's actually kind of what we were going with. The Draugr were like ancient, so they were, and it kind of looks like a Neanderthal man, right? Like a little bit, kind of like the bone structure and stuff. So it's just so neat, It's so dumb and pointless, but so cool, right? And we live in that age where there's so many little things that seem dumb and stupid, but we get into TikTok. And, just lose our whole minds, Twitter. And, that's the fun of life, especially now. Except all you subscription services. How many subscription services can you be subscribed to? God damn it. Like, how many do you have, Brew? Did you just think, he's deep in thought, folks. He's... Seriously, there's like everything.
I have probably 15 services.
Woo!
They're not all video streaming, but they're like any subscription-based service. Yeah.
They're everywhere.
I have a lot.
And then...
I have some I use for Discord. I have some I use for streaming. I have some I use for watching videos. There's...
Yeah, man.
Oof.
So many.
Shit, Microsoft Office is a subscription that I pay for. I mean, like... Everything is subscription model these days.
Even you go to Patreon, that's so cool for artists, I think, of any caliber to be able to do their thing.
Yeah.
But y'all should check out Patreon. They have tiered subscription services to support your favorite content creators. Great utility, but yeah, it's everywhere.
We're also on Twitch. Some Twitch streamers would love if you subscribe to them.
No, that's different. That's what I love.
Because that benefits, the subscriptions that benefit content creators, I'm all for. And I have quite a few of those as well.
Yeah.
It's so much better than, like, especially if you don't use all the video services. Spend that money on someone who makes content that you enjoy watching, and it's, like, fresh and new every day.
Yeah, consistent. Absolutely.
I've been finding more and more cool people to watch. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, the community. Like I see. I've never been a big Twitchy guy, but like I love watching your thing, and it's actually led me to be interested in a couple other channels. Like when you'll go raid, or I'll just see,
Yeah. Twitch
something
does
else
pretty
going
well
on.
at trying to put like stuff in front of you as well. That like, hey, you may also
Yeah.
like this, or it encourages people to kind of shuffle around through the channels, surf the channels a bit more.
Options are great, and there's a ton of them on there with a ton of different stuff. It's not just gaming, of course. Twitch. I have a buddy who's in a very successful progressive metal band, and he just streams himself just giving tutorials or just showing how they do their music. And
Yeah, or
breaking
just
it
like
down,
messing
and,
around, just twiddling away kind of thing. Just
yeah. Or crafts. I mean, people do live music. It is really cool, and it's been around. Oh my god, it's what, 11 years old,
something.
12 years old,
I don't
13
even know.
something. It's been on 2009, 10ish. So the ones that got in on that, the popular guys, especially the YouTube ones that jumped in on that, or man, they have really helped forge a path, and they have great careers now. I mean, amazing careers doing what they want to do, whatever they want to do.
Music Twitch is a cool place. It's just a bunch of people just vibing to music all the time. It's a fun creative community over there. But yeah. That's all I got for outside ESO.
Well, we're recording on Easter, and we'll be putting this out tomorrow. But the event's winding up in ESO. The nice Jubilee, the amazing, just giving us all the stuff. And man, I've probably done 900 dailies since it started.
God damn it! I love these boxes. I can't get enough.
Dude.
I wish I had more time. Honestly, I've fallen short on writs. I haven't done nearly as many zone dailies as I should have. But it's a happy time to play, no matter how much you get to play.
Yeah, absolutely. And y'all were playing in deep into the wee hours of the morning last night, huh?
Yeah.
I noticed that. Wow,
Yeah,
getting
last
after
night.
it late.
There was a trial
Bonanza.
kind of put together. Although it was in Dark Delvers as well, but then the person dipped. And so it was all DOT members anyway. It was weird. Either way, we got into a VCR +1. We did bar swap, which is great.
I had to drop out of that. I was signed up to do that about an hour and a half before.
Yeah, I think I filled your spot, actually.
Nice.
Because I originally didn't
Great.
sign up for anything. Well, I signed up apparently for the Saturday early evening trial that I had forgotten about. Because I signed up for it like early in the week. But
Yeah.
felt bad about that one. Apparently it didn't go great. So I felt like I could have helped. Either way, it's great to see the reps. Then we got into VCR 1. We did okay. A couple needless wipes. I'm getting a lot more comfortable downstairs, which is good.
Yeah, hell yeah. It's not
Got
so
the
bad.
+1 done. And then a VSS, and I ran the new setup. We ran the Daggers 2-hand back bar.
How'd it go?
It went okay.
Managing. Yeah. Get
There's a
some
couple
practice.
sticking points. The Stampede is tough sometimes. If like
I leave
mixing
it
it into
off.
the rotation.
Yeah. And it's a weird animation cancel with that. I still don't have that.
So I have to keep working that. But overall, it felt good. It just, I need to get more comfortable staying closer to bosses and closer to targets again. Because Kinrod keeps falling off.
Yeah. That's a tough one.
And it's just
The
like,
transition.
it's the hitbox area I need to get
Yeah.
more familiar with in content. But that's how I prefer to learn these kinds of
Yeah.
crazy in-game meta
You got to at
shifts.
some point.
I need to run it in content.
You've got to. That's eventually. Anyway, at some point you have to do that. So yeah, that's great.
But yeah, we got it done. We skinned a guildie. Got some people, sticker book pieces, which is cool. But I love skinning people.
Yeah.
That's a great time.
It is, man. Because a lot of times you know that they're not gonna forget that. It's cool to be along for the ride.
And it was smooth. We had good burn for being a 2 a.m. trial start time.
I looked. I think I wasn't feeling good at all last night, and around like I think it was like 3 or something. I noticed y'all are still in a party. I believe Heather was like, "God damn, they are still going." Just did a little slow clap all by myself, in my room.
Yeah, sorry to hear you weren't feeling well. You know, it's kind
That's
of a
fine.
bummer. Because
I
that
just
had
hate-
been
I don't
prime
want anybody to
Darkseid time. Through the wee hours of
yeah.
the morning, we were having a ball.
That's
We were
great.
having a ball.
I'm glad you. I'm glad it worked out. I'm glad you got to fill that spot or to get in there.
Mm-hmm.
Cool, very cool.
So how about yourself? What have you been up to in game? Just dailies?
You know, man, I've been doing a lot of dailies this week. Yeah, man, it's, and I'm talking like I'll go like maybe three tunes deep with like 5 zones, and then Brits on. I made 2 new tunes just to do Brits on this
Jeez.
week.
Yeah, I know about that
Yeah.
that warden. I don't know if it's under wraps right now, but can
No,
we get a little sneak
it's-
peek of the warden? What's it
Uh,
for?
bear-
What's the intention?
Well, I named it Bear Fluffer. But I know nothing, so I'm gonna have Jerry's about to head off. Our good warden expert, one of our warden experts in the guild. He along with Wick too, and there's a few others I think probably out there. He's gonna be he games for like what, half the year when he's not working, and then he works the other half. So he's about to head back to work. But I'm gonna try my best to pick his ear in the off season and get this warden up to shape. Wick, you're gonna help me out too, buddy. I know you're not listening to this.
I think Trav's gotten very familiar with wardens as well.
Yeah, Trav, that's right. And Neck, Neck run.
I think Neck has a warden as well
Yeah.
that he likes to run. Absolutely.
But I don't know what kind. I don't know if I want to run a pet or not. But he likes the bear.
It's open ended right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah, totally. I need to learn, and it's good to kind of go back to that. I've been on the Templar just trying to master it for so long. And it's like it never ends really, because everything in the game changes. But it's time to branch out a little bit more. I went back to my Nightblade too, so I'd like to be more versatile in what I can run.
That's funny. You're making this effort to have a more diverse selection, and here I am over here like, nah, I'm actually gonna slim it down to only Nightblades. Fuck
That's
all
cool,
the
though.
other classes.
I mean,
I'll do any other
that's
roles. But
no,
I just
master
wanna
it,
play
dude.
Night class. I
That's
wanna play
how you
Nightblade.
get to be the best at something, man.
Right.
And like my Templar, like I can PvP. It doesn't even matter if I have PvP gear on. Like I can still hold my own. Just because I know it so in and out so well ad nauseum. Like I've just run it, and after a while, and now with the shared achievements, I mean that was the big thing. Is why I ran it so much for the last 2 years. Is like.
Yeah, it was because you're
I
like,
wanted
well,
them all.
my achievements are here, so
Right.
I need
And
to
now
keep
it's-
going on this one.
And now it's a little bit different. And I had so many on that one, but
Some people are still driven that way and still want to do everything on that main tune.
because it still gives it credit.
Yeah, which
Right.
is great. Good bully for you. But a lot of people, it opens up the option to be more flexible for
And not worry about that.
because we're just trying to get the achievement once kind of thing. Once and
Right.
done. That mentality has kind of changed.
And that's cool. It's. I think that's just like we were talking about, giving them the most options for the most people. You can't please everybody all the time, right? But you can improve upon your product, right? And I think they've done a great job of trying to listen to the community and actually, and they're good about that. Zos, we give them hell all the time.
Yeah,
but
as much shit as we give them, I do think they listen to the community very well.
They do, and that's the big thing about that. And they encourage the feedback, and I don't know about the criticism about their bugs, but it's good. It's a good relationship, I guess. We give them money, they give us stuff. We
They
change
give
stuff
us
we want.
stuff and money and the things.
They give us non-combat pets for mistakes they made. It's good. Hit some XP scrolls. Now run along. Get out of here. Go level up your tunes.
So, did you watch this past week the Bethesda stream of discussing the new update? It's time to start looking to the big juicy one.
What'd you see? Can you tell me some of the cool stuff they talked about?
So I do have to preface it that as they were starting to introduce like the lore and whatnot, I then got called to a meeting. And so I missed most of that discussion, and I came back during the card game.
Okay.
So I got to see kind of the initial opening. It was exciting, yada, yada, yada. Okay, cool. And I got to see some visuals of High Isle, and ooh, it's good looking. It may rival Somerset in my mind, and Somerset's my favorite zone.
More beautiful than Somerset?
Gorgeous, because it's still an island, it's still got that island, but without the hoity-toity motherfucking high elves. They're Bretons, a little more down to earth, a little more political though. That's okay. But they got a lot of that medieval sort of architecture mixed in with this island vibe. I love it. It looked gorgeous, and I can't wait to like run around. They focused on sunflowers a lot, so there's fields and fields of these sunflowers that look very, very well done. But wow,
that does sound very appealing.
Mm-hmm. And so there's basically a lot of political talk around this update. The quest is going to be based on the shows the name of their order. There's like a cult that's trying to overthrow the current hierarchy in High Isle. And so you'll be diving into that intrigue. But as well, I heard talk of druids. This must have occurred during the time I was away from stream. And that there's going to be a druid faction of sorts, group involved in these quests and stories that they're weaving into the islands. And so some people have started to ask the question of maybe a druid class or a druid race of sorts, potentially. To my argument, I say, well, we have a warden already. So what's a druid good? Like, that's not differentiated enough to warrant like a new class.
Well, there's no new classes coming out this year, though. Right?
No. Don't get it twisted. There are no new classes. There are no new skill lines that we're aware of. There are no new races.
But potentially, you're saying. Like,
potentially in the future.
Because it brings talk. Everything right now is speculation, too, and the fun of all that.
Yeah, people can't get enough of that.
Mm-hmm. And a druid is very woodsy and foresty, classically when you think of a druid. So, like, that is similar to a kind of the warden kind of little style they got going there with the trees.
Absolutely.
But that still gets the brain a working. Yeah.
So that's pretty awesome. That's something that I'm looking forward to. And then the card game. And I'm not gonna lie, I will need to learn by doing. They were walking through this, what each card means, resources needed, and I'm
a little bit involved, huh?
I'm gonna need to play it in order to truly understand the game. From what I understand, there's like 3 different ways to win, path to victories. There's multiple types of cards. There's 2 resources, gold and power, that you try and build and spend, so to speak. I don't know.
Did it give it like a time? Like, how long does one of the like an average match last? Like, how involved can it be?
Like, they turned off the timer for the sake of the stream so that they could explain stuff as they went. Mm-hmm. From what I understand, I think it's around 30 seconds to a minute you have per turn, somewhere in that range.
Okay.
And there's only going to be, I don't know, 10 to 15 turns, tops. Probably 10, I'd imagine. Closer to 10
Okay,
turns.
so like a 10-minute game, then maybe. So
Yeah,
like
nothing
like
crazy long. It
like-
can go a lot faster if you know what you're doing, obviously, and
Yeah.
playing against someone who also knows can go pretty quickly. There's going to be rewards, so cosmetics, pets. I'm not sure if there was a amount
Leaderboards?
mentioned. There will be, rankings of sorts. Tournaments, I'm sure, will be spawned.
Wow.
There's a lot of potential with the game, I think. I know a lot. Oh, chat was fuming. Just going on and on about why are we. Enough of the card game. I don't want the card game. Nobody asked for this.
Wow.
And it's just people
Wow.
salty that they're not addressing the issues within the game. To which I did see someone highlight their message and say, "Hey, this is a release, kind of upcoming release discussion. They're not here to talk about their problems. There's 45,000 people watching this stream right now. No one's here to discuss. Oh yeah, I'm sorry, our PvP's really been struggling. Like the servers are over capacity, and we're trying everything. No one." Who wants to hear about the bad things?
Well,
This is
a
exciting.
lot of people would love. I would love to hear like an actual video, maybe open Q&A session where they can address some of that because they don't, and we pay them money. That would be nice. It would
That's
be
fair.
refreshing to have
That's
that.
fair.
But I know what you're saying, and you're absolutely correct. This is not the time for that. This is the time for new
This is
cool
marketing.
things.
This is the marketing team here.
Right.
We're
absolutely.
displaying a new product. We're trying to get people excited.
Mm-hmm.
They picked people who knew the card game very well, explained it. I'd imagine they explained it well. I just couldn't follow.
You probably got to do it too anyway. I mean, they can explain
Right.
it all they want, but it's not even out yet.
So that was kind of the big stuff that happened in stream. But then immediately after stream, let me see if this kind of stuff is still up. An embargo of sorts lifted. Because they have everyone on their stream team, they have them beta test, almost alpha test, the PTS with the new patch. So, like, the new patch drops on the PTS, I believe, tomorrow for people to start playing around with and start, jumping into, finding bugs, helping report them and whatnot by the June release date. Well, they sign an NDA and everything and say, okay, like, I won't talk about anything we're about to see until after this Twitch stream occurs, and then they're able to. And that's when all the real juicy stuff starts coming out. Because that's the stuff people care about. What are the sets coming? What are the mythics coming? What quality of life improvements are coming to the game? And I don't want to beat them all ad nauseum, because I'm sure we'll be talking about them a bunch in weeks to come. Meta might probably shift. But there's a couple unique ones that I really like to call out.
Go for it. I
A
want to hear
12-piece set.
12. That's unprecedented.
Basically, all of your slots have to be this set.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Wild.
But it could, depending on how things min-max, depending on how things test out, could be very, very powerful for certain builds. And then there's also a mythic that limits your bar swap, which I also thought was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Like, it physically limits you to 1 bar. Could be very useful for, again, a significant number of people. Adds another thing to your belt that you could try out.
Like a Templar, man. I could.
Because it
I
gives
have
you a crazy
bar
amount of
build.
sustain, resources, power.
Why do you got
But
to
you
swap bars?
you can only have 1 bar. Well, great. That's okay if it's only the 1 bar I use anyway. So there's a lot of exciting things coming out. For everyone listening, the sets are coming. Quality of life is coming. Check out some videos. I highly encourage you to watch some of the content creators in ESO. Go through what they think of the tops and bottoms. We'll be going through a couple as we progress along towards update.
Mm-hmm.
But we're also console, so we have to wait a little extra long anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
It's okay.
exciting though.
It is, and
amped.
just to see them doing different. That's what I like. change is good when we're talking about this kind of stuff. As long as they balance it out, and they will, and it's, it'll be a. I don't know what they're going to come out with PvP or the revamp. I don't know what that means specifically, but they balance everything out, work it out. They'll do it. Just have to be a little patient with everything and figure everything out.
And there's always going to be balances. Of course, there has to be balances. So there's going to be something that's going to be overpowered when it's released. I loved that. What do you... Hrothgar's Chill. Remember when Hrothgar came out?
Yeah.
Oh, it just wrecked in PvP. And within a week, they had a hot fix to say, nope, just kidding. This was scaling too high. We didn't mean for it to be this strong.
Right.
And then it kind of brought it back down into the average mix. It's just so
just
funny.
like the mechanical acuity change. They made it like amazing for like burst, and then immediately like no, it's the PvP people don't like it. It's too OP. So, but it was a PvE set too at that point. It was plausible to use. And then not as much. That's all right though.
Yeah.
It's just part of it. And if you're new to Elder Scrolls, that's something might seem annoying at first, especially if you are coming in at the end of a patch. You just put something together and then it's getting changed.
Everything changed. I just spent hours grinding and farming and doing all the things.
Easier to deal with as you go through it, so it's just part of the cycle of change. Yeah. And some sets, don't change as often. False Gods or still, ones you can rely on, Sororia, whatever it is. But you can't help but think when, down the...
Mm-hmm.
When is this going to be?
When? And you just want constant communication. Like, make it a flowing river of when... Let us ask questions. Be direct in your answers. Don't give us simple one-word answers about, oh, we're working on it, or, oh, server issues. Explain to us like we're adults kind of thing. People crave that sometimes.
That would be nice. Yeah, I love it when a company shoots straight, especially if it's like a flaw they have and they're upfront about it. I was a PR major in college, and so I that's what I appreciate.
PR major, huh?
Yeah, PR into journalism, psych minor. Yeah.
Oh, another layer to the old dark side.
My onion is complex.
Cakes have layers, and everybody loves cake.
That's true. They're pretty sweet. Are you a cake guy or more of an icing guy?
Depends on the cake.
Good answer.
So if it's a dry interior cake, I'm eating the icing. We're ditching the rest of this cake. Like it's
yeah.
The ratio has to change, right? So I just take a shit ton more icing and I get a little bit of the actual cake part done. If the cake part's bad. But if it's real dense and moist and it has a good flavor to it, I don't need so much icing. No. This cake speaks for itself.
Yeah, the flavor and Well spoken, sir.
Life's a matter of ratios to me. I don't know.
It is.
Moderation.
My cake eating is directly proportional to how much milk is on hand. So
you're a big milk guy, huh? This is
it's all about milk. It's such a good compliment to certain sweet things.
You 1%er? Skim? 2%.
I used to be a big skim dude, man, when I was younger, because literally this might disgust some people. But I'd come back from jogging and chug
Well, skim milk's just water pretending to be milk, so.
Yeah, it's so many carbs though. It's got a ton more carbs than the fattier milk, which I had no idea about when I was younger. So that was
the good stuff.
2%'s a little bit too much for me because I like to be able to down a glass if I want. If I do that and it's 2%, I'm like, I'm like 1%, right in the middle,
I'm normally a 1% go-to because you're right. I like to be able to drink a significant bit, but like my coffee, a little whole milk in that bitch. Make it a little thicker.
Yeah. Cool.
Or if I'm having cake or something, it's okay to go a little heavier. Eat a little 2% whole. We can think about it with a dessert baked good.
Can we both agree buttermilk is disgusting?
Yeah, I got you on that one. Do you do any of like the almond milk, pistachio milk?
If it's a little sweet, like a little bit, I can't,
sweet.
Yeah, like that, just a little bit. But yeah, I don't mind soy milk, not so much, just because falling off the soy's not that amazing for you. It's like one of those big societal meme kind of things where soy just ruled everything for like a while everywhere you look. But yeah, like some almond milk or chocolate milk, man. Don't get me started. There's so many different kinds of chocolate milk out there too. I'll even get some Hershey's and make my own, put a little syrup in there. Oh yeah, like you seen the strawberry mix? Maybe like the
strawberry mix.
Yeah, like Nesquik strawberry. You mix it in like chocolate milk, but it's strawberry.
Oh, just strawberry milk?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. But you could put it on ice cream.
You were weird if you got that at lunch, but you could, I guess.
Was that an option?
Yeah, dude, we had strawberry milk as an option.
That's fancy, bro.
Strawberry, chocolate, regular.
Yeah.
Cool kids got chocolate because we all know what's good.
I'm a big vanilla flavored guy.
Oh, really?
Like a vanilla Coke or like a vanilla, like vanilla ice cream, just because you can add stuff to it, right? It's like a base. Right?
It's a universal base. It's just vanilla.
Yeah, because you can like add. You can't add the same toppings to like a chocolate ice cream. It'd be weird, right? Sometimes, it's just like it allows some extra.
I get what you mean. But if you're not adding anything,
right?
A lot of times I'd rather just have chocolate then. Give me the chocolate shake.
Exactly. Yeah, or cookie dough. We were talking about that, I think, before we started. We went into a big thing about cookies and cookie dough. I'm a cookie fanatic. My friends out there, I love some cookies and milk. Call me old fashioned. Hey, if it's good enough for Santa Claus, it's good enough for me.
Yeah, dude. Right? Santa gets top tier shit. He knows what's good,
and he's checking it twice.
Food has been a major discussion in my life lately. I got my hair cut yesterday. I talked to the lady cutting my hair the whole time about food.
Does she eat food too?
Oh, and we have some foods in common.
Oh, y'all got a snack next time? Picnic dinner date at your next?
No, her husband's a chef. That's one of the opening facts she gave me.
Oh, cool.
And I was like, oh, sweet, that's awesome. Like, good for him. He like loves to cook and does it frequently for you. Like, you won.
I bet he's not a skinny guy, is he?
No. I was like, that's a score.
Yeah, right. Yeah. If you see a skinny chef, that's
a bad
like
sign.
That's sketchy.
I should probably leave and go somewhere else, huh? Yeah. Would you not eat your own food here? What? Well, I'm trying to cut back. No,
got a high metabolism. Bullshit.
You're just not eating
Gordon
enough.
Ramsay's packing on some pounds, right? I'm not gonna watch any of those shows. I watched the Ace of Cakes.
I watched Nailed It.
But he's not kind of. They're not skinny guys, right?
No.
Especially if you're a baker, right?
A skinny baker shouldn't be a thing.
Are you on meth? You better be on meth. I'm on meth. Okay, cool. That makes more sense.
If you're, a place at like a vegan restaurant and you're the chef there, like I guess you could be skinny.
What are you doing with your life?
I mean, whatever. I guess you could be skinny there. Like, there's a place for skinny chefs, but skinny bakers, there is no place.
Not in America.
I don't know any.
Not in America. Come on.
It's like those Lindt commercials for the Lindt chocolate, and they have this beautiful Swiss guy who's all handsome and whatnot, drizzling, and you're like, no, that's not what they look like. There's no way.
No, and that dude
they're all tubby guys, eating a little chocolate on the side.
You remember the Carl's Jr. or Hardee's, wherever you live, had the supermodels eating like double-decker like hamburgers? And they spit that out as soon as they went and purged.
Yeah.
Immediately when they yelled
Well,
cut.
it made them feel like throwing up, eating something so unhealthy, so greasy.
They
God,
pair
that's
that
hot.
sexuality
God,
with
that's
the,
hot.
a boob and a burger. Man, what else do you need? Nothing, sir.
And just a
You're
little
right.
thing like pops out, a little juice squirts down
like,
onto the titty.
Oh, wait, that makes my mind think of something.
And
What is it?
They think every guy at home's just like, oh my God, wow. Look at
Are you staring at
her.
her or the burger? Both. Yeah,
Things that get guys excited, food and women, and they're very closely related.
Yeah.
Like the line's pretty fine.
Hey, yeah. I mean, women like that too, right? They're like
We all
good-looking
know about the
dudes
guy
and
who
food.
fucked the apple pies. I mean, it's easy to cross over there.
You know what his class in ESO would be? A pyromancer. God, we did it. We've done it. Thank you.
We should just end it there, huh? I mean, yeah.
Just walk off with the pyromancer stupid joke.
Oh, dude, you remember the food pyramids though? They taught you in school. I feel like they taught me it completely wrong.
The different food groups?
Yeah, bread used to be like the whole bottom tier was like you're supposed to have the most bread, and it's like, well, that was not right.
No.
that's too much bread.
Yeah, well, okay.
I'm sorry, I think it's grains technically, but everyone just took that as like, oh, that's the bread layer. So you're supposed to have a lot of bread.
And based upon what you're saying, do you everybody's looked at your nutritional facts on your food, right?
I do now.
Calories and all. Okay, that whole thing is busted. How much
really?
they think you should have of each thing a day, right?
Oh, the percentage of your dietary.
Yeah, that's all fucked up. Like, yeah, if you ever delve into like investigating that, like that stuff, dude, the only thing I pay attention to is like the actual calorie count, but like all the rest of that, the percentages of what they think and how much.
Yeah, that's about as deep as I get. Is I try and measure the number of calories per day and keep it in somewhere reasonable ballpark.
Carbs low, have your carbs early on in the day. Don't have a lot of carbs at night, and that's a good way to lose weight. Actually,
But
just
I
no
love
carbs
me
after
my
1
late night
p.m.
carbs. Oh,
Yeah, well, you'll never be one of those supermodels eating chocolate on a
that's true.
commercial.
I guess that's the cross I'll bear.
It's their loss. It's their loss. So show some real people eating chocolate.
How much sacrifice do you think you have to make to be that skinny and like
Dude,
cut? Like, do you just like never get to enjoy a donut? Because donuts are fantastic.
No, I mean some of those are real fit, right? And so they have a metabolism. But they just that's not part of their diet. Yeah, they may have something. I mean, they're human. They may have something every now and then, but like that's what they're into.
That's where I struggle.
That's you got, but once you get into that,
Enjoy dieting.
Well, you
It's
just
hard for
enjoy
me.
your body feeling so great all the time that it's like it's like poison almost. Like because when I was training all the time and eating like tuna fish and water and like no bread and just straight tuna out of the can and running like 10 miles a day, I didn't want when I ate something that was like not as healthy. I felt it like
You felt
I
shittier.
the immediate impacts of that in my system and was like, ugh. And so it made me, but once you fall out of that a little bit, you get back into, eating pizza on the reg or whatever, you don't realize
You don't
how
notice it
bad
as much.
you are health or unhealthy.
Fuck, I
Yeah,
love pizza.
exactly. Oh, yeah. I mean, I feel so bad for people allergic to like anything that's in a pizza, like cheese or that.
I pray that I never
Lactose
become
intolerant.
lactose intolerant. I
could happen.
rely.
I hope it doesn't.
I hope it doesn't either. I rely on cheese in my life. Cheese is always there when I'm down. I'll tell you what. It's like Sweet Mary J. Like cheese doesn't do me wrong. I won't blame cheese for anything that goes wrong. All right.
Not cheese's fault.
That's on me.
People.
It's not the cheese. Don't go blaming the cheese.
Cheese. You want to hear something funny? The other day I made a little Totino's pizza. I love my little Totino's pizzas. I put it had 10 different kinds of cheese on it.
10.
It already came with one, and I put 9 more.
Yes! I fucking love it.
In a little tiny pizza with 10 different fucking cheeses.
So would you
on
just
it,
like
and it was
line the bottom of a
glorious.
bowl or something and then just layer the cheeses on top?
Yeah, well, I had a pack of like it's already blended 6 cheeses,
Nice.
and then I had 3 other packs of shredded like and
Mozzarella,
just laid it on. Yes,
cheddar.
Parmesan, prosciutto, provolone. Yeah, I'm telling you, brother, it was glorious, fantabulous.
You're a
Would
culinary genius.
Hey, you can't go wrong with cheese, man. Like, it's great, melted or all its different forms. Dairy, man. I've always been a big dairy guy.
If you could have one food for the rest of your life, like one meal, desert
That's
island
true.
sort of situation, you got to eat one a day. What do you house in?
Dude. Am I thinking about like my bowels in the situation?
No,
Okay.
don't worry about the exhaust pipe on this.
Dude, I don't know, man. Like anything would get old,
Anything?
If I had to, well, if it's the only thing you get to eat, are you just saying you get that once a day? Just
Yeah, you got to eat one once a day.
It'd be a bacon cheeseburger, bro, with tomatoes and with all the. It'd have to be because it has fruit and vegetables
You fucking nerd.
and meat. Well, I'm just saying it's like the only thing I can think of that's a little diverse pizza.
I want a
Domino's
hoagie.
for
I want an
years.
Italian hoagie every night. I will eat an Italian hoagie
Okay.
every night.
Well, that's similar to a hamburger. That's pretty good. A foot long?
Yeah, just give me a foot-long Italian hoagie. Mayo, lettuce, onions.
That's not a bad call either.
Got the Italian meats.
I mean, sandwiches
Provolone.
it's the base food of the whole world, right? That's what I like to think. Or rice.
What did they do before sandwiches? I mean, honestly.
Rice and wheat. I don't know, man. I'm glad I don't have to live that life.
Yeah, same. It's the simple things that please me.
The Earl of Sandwich. Did he really create the sandwich?
No.
It was named after him.
Yeah, but like, you really think he just got the credit for making a sandwich, okay? You really
Well,
think he made the first sandwich in the world?
I don't know how that works, man. I don't know how that kind of stuff starts. Like, and just is like now, like the bikini. I know about the bikini because the guy's name was, or the Bikini Islands. But he named like a guy just was like saw that we were testing nukes in the Bikini Islands, and then just goes, "I'm gonna call this new swimsuit that I've created the bikini because of that." and that's how that started.
Thank you, sir.
Bikini Atoll. Yeah, that's how strange is that? Because it's so synonymous now. We just go, "That's a bikini," and you don't even think bikini. It's like that's
Bikini.
not.
Wait, that's a place?
Yeah, but it's wild. I like bikinis. Just saying.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I do.
Going out on a limb here.
Well, that's a shame. It's a similar situation, I guess, with Fortnite and the dances. It's like some kids are going to learn that dance as, oh, that dance is from Fortnite. But like the Carlton, for example, like, no,
right.
that's not a Fortnite dance. Fortnite's took that from a show or a TV. It's like, no, that's not. You kid, you're wrong.
Now you know how we feel when you quote something that's from a remake.
Yeah, it's true. I guess that's.
You know what I mean? But that's that's going to continue to get worse as culture gets on because we're just especially the way media does. We're going to regurgitate cultural memes and this and that, and in 100 years they're going to go, "That's not the bleep blorp dance. That's the blump blump dance," and that's still the Carlton dance they're talking about. Right? It's gotten so far away from its origin.
The original.
Mm-hmm.
But everything's so documented now.
It is, but people don't care, dude. They're like, hey,
That's true.
they'll hear a remake of a song, and they won't go investigate to see that that's original song by, Hendrix or
Good point.
Dylan or whatever. They're like, oh, this new song came out by The Thing. They're a really good band. It's like that's not their song. They didn't write that. They just what? I don't care. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We need original ideas. I mean, rehashing old stuff that's cool and revamping it and giving a new spin on it. I love it. I'm all for it always. But
Do you think there's a limit though to the imagination?
I think don't let it at the expense. I'm saying it's an artist at the expense of original art, but like let that be a side. Let that be in the ether as something that complements progression.
It can influence, but it's not.
Yeah, let it be just part of it, but not something that like Hollywood stuck in this. Let's just do remakes all the time, and it's going. Well, where's all the great new original IPs, intellectual properties that where are all these cool? I mean, we think back, and there was no precedent for a lot of stuff we've seen and experienced. There's no precedent, or if there was precedent, it came from like books from whatever. So there's a natural evolution to it. However, if you're just remaking stuff in the same kind of format, that's not pushing the envelope. That's not pushing us forward, creativity at all. So it's just nature of the beast, I think, some of the time. There's a lot of stuff I'd love to see remade, video game wise too. Old video games, now we have all this cool technology, all these companies, and we're seeing that. We're seeing some stuff get revisited that needs to be because of the limitations on technology or whatever the time frame is dated. Blah blah blah. What's popular now? We can
I'm ready for some truly optimized new generation console games.
Great.
Fully use that Series X capability.
And there's a company coming out that it's not even going to be. They're wanting to make a game just for the X, not even for the S.
Oh shit!
Yeah, and we may see a trend going towards that, which a lot of S owners are going to be like, "Hey, the fuck."
We're finally catching up to PC. I want to be able to game with the best of PC.
I don't know.
The highest quality settings, the highest refresh rates, the highest...
I don't know if that'll ever be a thing. It's always going to be right behind PC. I don't see how that could change. Just because of the way the industry.
It's always going to be like 90% of what PC is. Just because there are going to be the 10% of people who go and say, well, that's a lot of power in that console, but I can just keep adding more to my PC and it'll just still outperform theirs.
Yeah. And the gap has closed. Let's get that straight. I mean, the gap is significantly... there's still... on a Series S or X or a PlayStation 5, you can see some beautiful, buttery smooth, great, fantastic running games. And then you get a game that comes out, it's brand new, but it's unoptimized, kind of like Cyberpunk disaster release. Where you're going, this is unplayable on the older consoles, the last generation, unplayable until and then you go, well, what the hell? What is that gap? I want good stuff. Great though, beautiful stuff, man. I mean, Elden Ring, God, I can imagine on PC at the highest settings how gorgeous.
You going back in tonight? You getting back in some Elden Ring?
I played a little bit today. I haven't been going too overboard because it's just something that's there. It's just a fun time each time. But I haven't played with anybody yet either. Done the multiplayer with any of our friends that have played it. So I'm looking forward to doing maybe some of that. Vlad, Milk, looking at you out there, and whoever else wants to.
Absolutely. We love playing games with our friends. There's talk of an Among Us happening amongst the guild. We've been trying, there's always been talks, but I think we're getting closer to actually setting one up and having it run.
Smash hit of 2020. 19. It's still going strong. I mean, that's people stream that all the time. Hey, we played a little game this week.
Oh, did we play a game this week, Darkseid?
I played a couple of games, yeah.
A
couple of games of the same game.
I kind of shut that out of my mind.
Why is that? Brew and I, the poll results came in for the first game we would play on our. We have a name for whatever this is, but gaming with the boys.
DarkBrue Gaming. I don't know. We'll workshop it.
It'll be clever, I promise. But yeah, that was fun. I hadn't played a head-to-head Madden in a long, long time, so that was very enjoyable. It's
Yeah.
good to just game with you, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed getting outside of ESO with guildies is always something I like to do. Playing other games is fun. To know that we're all at the end of the day gamers. You know, we come from diverse backgrounds, but we can all play like different games, but games together.
Yeah.
So that's fun. And then, you know, I haven't stepped back into Madden in quite some time. So it's I had a lot of laughs playing. We laughed about some of the shenanigans that occurred in the games.
Yeah. Let's just say, we'll just say there was a lot of combined interceptions.
Yeah, the second game especially. So keep an eye on the YouTube. We'll make it under its own what we call category of just us gaming together.
Yeah.
Give it a watch. You know, have some laughs. Like it, comment. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube while you're there.
Absolutely. Let us know if you want us to do some more of it. We're going to anyway.
We're going to anyway.
In spite of you, okay?
You know, keep helping us guide us and let us know where you want us to play. What kind of crazy clips you'd want to see. There's a bunch of fun cooperative games out there. Or single-player games. You know, all kinds of stuff we can do.
Dude, I watched two grown men the other night on a stream. Like, popular was their YouTube video of their Twitch stream together. And they played a game where you're a flop fish out on the street. And you have to just flop your way through this like obstacle course of a thing. And dude, it's the hardest game in the world. They were getting so frustrated. They couldn't move but like 5 feet an hour, pretty much, with how it would reset you if you fucked up. You have to cross the road like Frogger at one point with just like these awful controls of flopping around. And I was just sitting there going, they are miserable, but they're like grinning and going like, you know, and they're
yeah, like they're obviously not going to like dedicate hours upon hours upon hours to the game, but like it's fun in the moment. Wow, this is frustratingly hard. Like this is
but they're doing it together and they're laughing at each other, and it was a good time because for the viewers, I was going, this is just awful. But just seeing them have the almost awful time was actually pretty enjoyable for a little bit. But even I was like, I'd speed ahead 30 minutes. And it would just be dude in the same place. And I was like, God, that's awful. That's really awful. Anyway, yeah, there's so many games. And, you know, I love playing any kind of game.
So, yeah, keep your eyes out for that. And I did want to give an update to everyone on the BCU, the Brew Cinematic Universe. We got Terminator locked up. We got a lot to talk about today, though. So it's not going to be on today's episode. But
he's gonna watch it.
Yeah,
he's gonna watch it. This is the education of cinematic education of Brew, and
it's gonna be a long process. We're gonna be running this. You know, it's gonna be a reoccurring segment.
It's important though, and we.
I need the culture.
Guys, like it's for Bruce. It's for Bruce's sake, and we're gonna pitch in his community and help him get learned on the popular movie stuff.
On his dumb ass.
It'll happen, yeah. Because I want you to start seeing these things in movies that your brain will reference with the world, and you go, things make sense now. This is that, and this is the way things are.
I think some people just like to see my point of view, like a 28-year-old male, like seeing this for the first time 20 years after a movie, and like seeing how that hit somebody.
Yeah,
I
think it's fascinating. I think it's great. And the people's fascination with your inexperience with those is just, it's something. It's something.
Who knew I was building for this my whole life, guys? I can't watch these movies. Turns out I have a plan in the future.
Hey, you're investing. You didn't even know. But it's fun. Yeah, that's a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to that. The debriefing. Just take a couple notes, you know, and then you can watch it. You know, even if it's a week later, you can go, okay, yeah, kind of go. This is a talking point, you know, as you go through.
So keep your eyes peeled or ears peeled. Probably next week, depending on the schedule, which is something Dark and I need to talk about. But maybe some more guests coming on. It's been a little while. It could happen
to you out there.
It's been a little while, so you know, we need to get Steve, you know, working again, because this bum hasn't been scheduling us shit.
God damn it!
So
Steve,
you know,
Hey. Yeah,
Can you have a talk with him?
Yeah, well, he's looking at me funny, but hey,
it's unacceptable at this point. It's we need a better scheduler, so maybe we need to find somebody. Steve might not be working out, but let me know how that conversation goes.
We do pay him in cheek and cheese and cake and milk.
No, cheek is right. My ass cheek.
Hey! Yeah, did you get those nudes, Steve? Okay. All right.
Hot.
He got them.
Nice. And that's about all I got for this week. So,
hey, we've talked about some stuff, huh?
We ran the gamut. So, viewers, listeners, thank you so much, as always, for listening to the DarkBrue Podcast. God, we just have so much fun doing this shit.
I do. We do. It's great. And appreciate you listening. And you can catch a backlog of all if you missed any from previous weeks. Have a good time. If you liked any of this, go check those out. And always check our YouTube channel too. Root those up a little visuals, so you get a couple little views of whatever we're talking about, reference points. But yeah, and then we'll put the gaming stuff up on there too. We're doing so a lot of exciting stuff coming in the future, all around. I'm happy. Thanks for listening.
I'm tickled. Thank you guys again for being here. And check out the links in the description below. Dynasty of Terramail, as always. We'll have the link to the YouTube where you can find Darkseid and myself. Thank you. And until next week.
Bye.
Goodbye. Love you. Say it back and mean it.